Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. Today you have the Rhino, and we're looking at a beer. Today's beer is right here. It's really nicely colored. It's from Multinational, just down the street and around the corner, here in Regina, Saskatchewan. This is Planned Obsolescence. I mean, there's so many vehicles and stuff nowadays that have planned obsolescence. So why would you want a beer that has planned obsolescence? Well, why not, right? Why is that down there? What the fuck is that? Oh, I gotta find out what that stuff is. Okay, back to what we were doing. Planned obsolescence. This is an apricot saison, and it is 5.5% alcohol by volume. Actually, this is the beer. This is the beer my father-in-law bought when we were together at Multinational while he was here 2 weeks ago. And here's another one. Okay, so canned May 2024 at Multinational Brewing Corp. This was announced like the day before my father-in-law and my children landed. My father-in-law and children arrived June 30th. You canned this in May and didn't announce it until June. But you say on it, drink fresh. I don't understand. Are you selling it like super secret first and then you announce it to everybody? Hey, it's out! Or are you like can conditioning first? Just can it and sell it. Can it and sell it. That's it. Just can it and sell it. So I can get it fresh as fuck. No, I don't get it fresh as fuck because even though they're down the street and around, they have like 4 beers right now that I want to try, but I'm sitting down here drinking instead of walking down the street to get more beer. Well, I have too much beer anyway, so it doesn't matter. Apricot Saison, 5.5% alcohol by volume. Water, barley malt, wheat malt, apricot. Well, it's apricot concentrate, hops and yeast. I never knew it was apricot concentrate. I figured you used real apricot. Little disappointed now, just a little. Apricots are a hard fruit to use. That's why I'm only a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed because I kind of want a commercial brewery to do things the way I was taught to do them. And in a way that helps the consumer and gives the consumer the best product of it possible. But at the same time, I know how fucking hard it is to process apricots, how hard it is to get a uniform flavor from an apricot, because apricot, all stone fruit is hard to work with, and apricots are no different. Stone fruit is a hard one to work with. Basically, if they had used apricots, this would just look thicker and maybe more of an orangey color. Using the apricot concentrate will give you a more rounded flavor. It'll give you a more standard flavor, shall we say, where you could possibly be able to make it again and have it almost taste the same. So I understand, just slightly disappointed. Like I said, slightly. The guys and ladies at Multinational have talked to me in the past. I'm not actually bothered by it. Just again, slightly disappointed, and that's why. But again, I completely and utterly understand. Sent from the glass. Also, as most of you know, I have a big problem with saisons and the ABV of saisons. This brewery has not put all over the can, saisons were made for farm workers to keep hydrated in the fields and all that. They didn't put that on here. But they made a saison. And saisons were historically a lower ABV beer. And a lot of breweries will make higher ABV, 6 and up saisons, and then still put the history of a saison on the can. And that pisses me off. Under 6%, I mean, realistically, I would want under 5%. But under 6%, I give you points for that. That's you did okay. Back to the glass. And here's where the apricot concentrate comes into play. You can smell apricots. It smells like a perfect blend of sour and sweet, uh, perfectly ripened apricots. Even stronger out of the can. And that's all I'm smelling is the apricots. Cheers, let's try it. That last little bit gave it a haze that was not there before, so there was some splooge in the bottom. Okay. Flavors you would normally get with a Saison. Possibly horse blanket. Possibly white pepper. Possibly spices, clove, coriander, that type of thing. What I'm getting on this, apricots. Slight touch of sweet and a more apparent sour apricot, over-ripened apricot almost. That sour flavor mixes into making the entire beer have a little bit of a tart note to it. No white pepper. No barnyard funk. No drying clove. I'm actually really excited about that because those are probably some of the things I like the least about modern day. Well, I shouldn't. I don't know what an original Saison really tasted like, but the modern day craft variant of a Saison. They when they exploded in Ontario, they exploded in Ontario to the point that everyone had a fucking Saison, and they all tasted very similar. And I'm kind of glad that I don't see many of them out here. But this one is made really well. Again, slight bit of tart, lots of apricot flavor, little tiny touch of oakiness. I don't know what they're doing to get that out of this, but there's this little tiny touch of oak right at the back of the palate. Oh, excuse me. And with that oak comes the tiniest touch of English-esque earthiness. I really like this beer. My father-in-law liked this, and my father-in-law is a chef. He runs the culinary department in the Arctic College up in Nunavut. Uh, and he was a big fan of this and said that he could see this being a good food pairing beer and a great cooking beer. And you know what? I could as well. I actually quite enjoy this. Oh, excuse me. Out of 10 on this, I'm going to give this an 8. If they had this still, I would buy more of it. Bye, guys.